Yo, yo, what's up, amigos? How you guys doing? Hope all is well. I figured I'm gonna make a video in regards to INO. I had a good trade, and I'm just gonna talk about how or why it happened. I just got music at the background, so in this video, I'm gonna talk about why I was long and the thesis, thought process, and basically how you could potentially replicate it. I think by tomorrow I should be up 1,000% or something. I don't know. I bought some at 40 cents, some of the calls 265, and then after hours it went into $9. So it should be quite a bit decent, and I'm gonna sell some. So that's what the video is gonna be about. It's gonna be about INO, why I was long. A lot of the guys were shocked, or they were like, "Well, what's going on? What was the thought process?" I was surprised, didn't see this coming. And yeah, that's what it's going to be about. I'm going to try to give my thought process as much on it as much as possible. And just a heads up, and if that's something that you guys want, you enjoy it, uh, let me know. Write in the comments below, uh, and subscribe and share with somebody if it helps, if this was beneficial. And the other thing, it should go without saying, but I'm going to say it quickly. Don't try to, anytime I do a trade recap or anything like that, even though there's a disclaimer, don't try to take the trade after I'm done. Yes, quote unquote, it would be beneficial for me because I'm in the play, but I never try to do that. But the intent of the video is to go behind the thought process. So don't take this trade long. Just a heads up, if you see it and it's gapping up, you're like, oh, it could go higher. Uh, the odds are a lot of the times it may not work. It's like, you're too late for the entry. So more than that, just learn from it. And then teach me something. If there's something that I missed out, I could have done better, let me know. I know there's always I could do better, so I'm going to do that too. Okay, so here we go. Subscribe, click like, uh, if it's if it's stuff you enjoy. So this is the thought process. So the first question comes, why was I long? Uh, a lot of times when I post, I say got lucky, a little lucky, blah blah blah. I say that, I do mean it, but at the same time, deep down in the bottom of my heart, I really know. Of course, it's luck, it's market condition, but at the same time, it's hard work too. So it just didn't come out. So why did I go long? Because I did my freaking research. And what I mean by that is I was prepared. So in the last video, if you guys haven't seen it, go back and give it a watch where I talked about how to build an ETF, uh, how to build an ETF, this video right here, coronavirus sector, building ETF and how to play it, etc., etc. So what I did was, the thought process was, I had a gutsy feeling that the market would pull. This time the rate helped it, and in one of my plans, contingent plan, I was like, okay, if the market goes up and coronavirus does the opposite, which names do I need to short? Which names do I feel more comfortable about shorting? And the opposite, if the market goes down or a news comes that schools are shut down or malls are shut down and things like that are shut down, what names should I long? And then you kind of prioritize it. You prioritize, well, it'll be, this is the stock that I would want to long, this is the stock I would want to short. So that's what I did. So that's one of the main reasons why I was. And going a bit further than that, um, INO. By the way, the company is a piece of poop. Like this is, in my opinion, it's relatively garbage. They've lied a lot about in the past that they're they're gonna make this vaccine, that vaccine, and they haven't produced. But they are a bigger cap. So, but knowing that this is a piece of poop, and a lot of people were shorting it, and it was a bigger cap, I could see that there's a lot of, you can see red ray, red ray, red rays. A lot of people are short. Anytime people make money off of it, they pay. So long story short, in here, I was long, not because of fundamental, not because it's good, because I think a lot of people were short the stock, and I knew the stock was garbage. And then there's also other variables like the ATM on it. It's there, but hasn't been used up, or things like that. Possibly. I figured, I don't recall exactly. I think the ATM is a bit old, but given how many times it had red days and all this, I bet quite a bit of the ATM is used up. So that's the other reason. So majority of the reason was because it's a bigger float. Um, they are in coronavirus, and bigger cap, so funds would have gone after this. And if there was people that were, there's a lot of people that are short on here. So this was one of the names, and the other one was I don't know if it'll be beneficial to mention or not, but the other names was I'm gonna let you guys do your own due diligence. What other names that you want to go long? So just have an agenda. If the Corona goes up, Corona sector goes up, these are the names that you want to go long. If the Corona goes down, these are the names you want to go down. And how do you find which one they are? Go on the basis of overhead and how it's reacting, and try to do your due diligence. So this is why, as you guys can see, in the morning I was trying to long. I was trying to long it. I had really good entries. As you can see, it's like 486, 486, 487, 88, whatever. I sold, sold. Um, okay, now I'm gonna do recap. So that was the reason for the long, and what else could I put that was beneficial? After hours, I could do trade recap. After hours, I hit it with the. It's the same thing that I say all the time, just a broken record. I I tried to add to it, and this was very small, but this in here I was probably still like 1/5, and eventually I got to a point. I kept adding to a winner, and my risk was down here, and then eventually down here. And here I saw an 830 offer, and I hit the offer. I don't usually do that even during market hours, but I knew shorts were extremely bent on this name, and sometimes you have to do that. Oh, and I also had a long attempt at freaking 680s. Yeah, I had a 682, 681, 682. TZ didn't fill me. I was so cheesed down here. But here, I knew the shorts were bent, so I went uncomfortable size, and then I locked in. Okay, so now I'm gonna do some stuff for myself. What did I do good? What did I do bad? Good job here. Uh, mental, good job, but at the same time, not so good job. Have a clear risk. Try to add on the pullbacks. I should have had this as a risk, but I was buying, selling, buying, selling. It may not, compared to this, it may not be like, oh, it's a lot of range. From 840 to 525, this was 480 to 525, it's like 50, 60 cents. So I was thinking it could potentially go to 575, but this was a decent range. One thing I could do better is um, here my mental capacity got burnt out. What I should have done technically is risk off of previous lows. This. have enough size to risk off of this. I mean, I still did a good job. I sold on the spikes, tried to buy the dips, but I think in my head I didn't really have that as a risk. I was just working with a small core. And here I remember I was like, okay, it's gonna break above this. Let's go. And then I added here. This is the one that I'm questionable. My size was small, but then I cut it into a little bit of break even, just because wasn't sure if it came down. I didn't want to take it off here. And I wasn't able to add here. I don't do breakouts. I suck at breakouts. So the note to self, if it's a lot of consolidation and then it breaks out, that's good. So if it had 3-4 attempts, that's good. If it did it once and then it broke out, it's not so good. So keep that in mind. Mental capacity burned out. I did a really good job pulled here. So the goods are this. When it pulled, I should have hit heavier. I gotta get a hotkey that puts more size in there. Sold into the pops. Missed this one. I'm glad I didn't FOMO. Then I added. And I longed on the other account. And of course the calls. At one point there, somewhere here, I put an order in because I knew this was going to potentially go up. So I had to make a decision. I wanted to put it on a swing. So I had to make a decision. Do I get equity or do I buy quite a bit of puts? So I just put puts. I have calls. This is calls for INO. I think $7. I was expecting it to go in a few days. It did not today, but I got lucky. Not only did it get to 7, freaking way above. So that's the trade recap. I hope it was beneficial. And how would I grade this overall? So here, the grade is A plus risk management, a B plus. I could have done my risk management better, I think, because I shouldn't have sold anything on here. That's the other thing. I was a bit agitated. I mean, I went full size. I was scared. If this had washed, I would have gotten some good amount of slippage. Like, I was uncomfortable size here. I was probably risking break even. But I just kept adding. And this guy here just presented a really nice opportunity. There was a guy sitting at the offer. I just took whatever the remaining part was, and then I went higher and I washed, covered. But I mean, the goal was here, so did a good job here overall. That's all. If you made it this far and it was beneficial, click like, subscribe, share with somebody that it helped. Take care, guys. Bye.